Guys, welcome back. We're going to try to get this truck going and actually running today. So we have to really knock our list out. Here's our list, some things that we're definitely going to do today. So I already did this, flush the coolant, which I'll show y'all how I did that, and we'll probably do a little more because it needs some more flushing. We're definitely going to do the oil change today. We're going to do the HEI and plugs first. We did already mount the third wheel. We haven't put it on the truck, but the tire's mounted to it. And then we'll see what we get knocked out throughout the day. Super cold today. It's pretty windy, so hopefully the audio doesn't get too screwed up, but we'll see how it works. So the first thing we're going to do is get the engine top dead center. We're going to do it by feel first, by just plugging this hole and waiting for the compression to kind of push our thumb out of it. And then we'll verify it with the top dead center mark. If that doesn't work, then we will reassess. But the thing you want to do, mistake I've made before, make sure you're on the compression stroke, because you can hit top dead center on the exhaust stroke, and that is you'd be 180 degrees out. It might crank, but it would immediately start spitting and sputtering and die. I've done that in my Jeep before. We're just going to put a finger over the hole, crank it over until we start feeling that compression. And then we may actually have to get a socket on the crank and turn it by hand to get it finally tuned. Once we do that, we'll see where the distributor rotor is. Bump it, Russell. Let's get it back around to where we know we're on compression.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Yep. Oh.
Too much?
I don't know. Keep going. That's it right there. I think we're right on it.
I heard it pop.
We got to be close. It's pointing right at number one. So guys, the distributor cap that was on this had a number one marked, and it was the one at the very bottom. So that's pointing directly at the number one. But everything's matching. We're on compression stroke. The cylinders, you can see the cylinder in there. It's at the top. This timing cover has a top dead center mark, but I don't know if this is used for other engines or what, but these marks don't match. On the passenger side of the engine, there's a sight glass with more timing marks down there, and that's where you want your mark on your pulley to be, and it is. So the mark matches, the cylinder's at the top, the distributor is pointed towards the number one plug wire. So to take this distributor out, pretty simple. There's a bolt holding a little hold down right here. Once you take that off, you should be able to just pop this thing out. The little rod that goes down into your oil pump will likely come out with it. You have to take that rod out and put onto the new HEI distributor, because I think the HEI distributor doesn't come with a oil pump rod. Now I need to take this vacuum hose off. Anything else come off?
Wiring.
Is there any wiring? Oh yeah, this wiring right here.
Yep.
How does this work? What am I doing wrong? Is there some kind of trick to this? Am I an idiot? Don't answer that. Russell, I'm dumb.
Huh?
I'm dumb. How does this work? What am I doing wrong? Okay, it's got two notches. Ford and their damn notches. We got two like little nails or something. Pull. Okay. I'm a trying. Ah! So guys, we're out. That O-ring right there sometimes make it tough to pop out, but it'll come on out. That plug is not cool, but we see we had to kind of break the side to get it loose. That's fine, it just goes to the distributor. So we've got our mark for top dead center, kind of, and then we've got the vacuum advance was going directly to the back of the truck across the oil filter there. There's our oil pump rod I was talking about, so that should just slide out of there. Might take a little urging, but it'll come out of there and go into our new ones. All right guys, it's sitting in there. Right now we've got the rotor button pointed right down to number one where it's supposed to. Vacuum advances straight back like it was. I got to push it down just ever so slightly more because I got to push it past the O-ring that's on the base down here, and then we should be set. Just gotta put the cap on it, man. All right guys, full disclosure, we didn't videotape a lot because we don't really know what we're doing, and I don't want to give anyone a false sense of how to do it and then screw their truck up. If we screw our truck up, that's our, it's Russell's truck. He's the one that's gonna have to figure it out. But we got the cap on, we got the rotor pointed where it needs to be. We got what we're wiring to number one at that rotor. So we'll start the firing order, get everything wired up. We'll probably flush this coolant one more time because we really want it up to temp to see how it runs. We found a 12 volt to run it off of, the white wire. Everyone online agrees that white wire is 12 volts. We did test it with a multimeter and it was 12 volts. All right guys, the way I do a flush, very simple. We've already drained the radiator. Going by a 5/8 hose adapter from wherever, Walmart or whatever. Plugged in my heater hose, take the other one off, flush the heater core out, then plug it back in, plug one of them back in, flush it out. It should push water out of the water pump. Then change over to the other one, flush it back the other way, and it should flush it out of the head. I'll probably take this thermostat housing, since there's no thermostat in there, off and let it just run out the front first a little bit too. We're just trying to get it as clean as possible because y'all saw how nasty that thermostat was. When I did this earlier, a couple days ago, lots of black junk came out of every orifice. That's what she said.
Still shooting out.
Still black junk?
It's brownish. Yeah, it's cleared up now.
Yeah. We'll send it back the other way. Oh yeah, it was nice. Oh, it's pretty clear now. It came out red a little bit. Oh, easy now. Are we ready? Is there anything I'm forgetting, Russell? My beer? I'm definitely forgetting that. Ready, Freddie? Let me give her a little go juice. Now we're not positive that we're getting good gas. We know we're getting good gas,
Decent.
but enough gas. So I still say we pour just a little bit down and see what happens. Guys, we cannot get it running long enough to time it. And that's, some of that has to do with us messing up the timing, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that the carburetor on it was trash. So we did a thing and took the carburetor off, and it was disgusting and had a bunch of stuff in it. And it probably be rebuilt, but we went ahead and just bought a new one. And today, while we have the carburetor off, we went ahead and took the smog pump off. That's not going back on. I know it doesn't really rob any horsepower or anything, but with all this cleaned up, and once we got all these wires cleaned up, this will look a lot better. And then once we get it good and degreased, we're going to take the valve cover off, replace the valve cover gasket. We'll probably sandblast it and go ahead and get it painted. Because even if it doesn't run, it's going to look good sitting still. Degrease it for me. Keep it back. There you go. Nope, one more. Right there. Hey David, good job buddy. Degreasifying is done, and it is actually looks like you can get to the bolt, so that's good. So now we're going to pull all this vacuum out of the way. We're not real sure what all vacuum's needed, but we're going to try to eliminate as much as possible. Hopefully we don't screw it up too bad. We are not experts at that, but we're going to pull all this vacuum out of the way so we can get to that valve cover and go and get that valve cover off so we can sandblast it and start painterfying it. And we're going to paint this vacuum canister here. We're just kind of goofing off right now while we're trying to think up a game plan. I got it. So we painted it. Now we're gonna sand off the powered by Ford part so that it can be, visible. We did not do a valve job on this bad ride. We did try try to set them to 0 lash. I know you're supposed to set 0 and then go all the way around another turn. We weren't prepared to do that because we know we're probably coming back off of this, maybe even with the head. We really just wanted to make sure they were nice and nothing was crazy loose, especially since we still potentially have a vacuum or a compression leak on that back cylinder. So we're fixing to go ahead and put our nice, shiny, beautiful valve cover. We painted it blue and then just scraped back off the blue on the power by Ford and then clear coated it back over it. Looks really good. We painted the vacuum can there. That looks good. Based on our findings, after taking the valve cover off, it appears that we did have it on top dead center and everything when we set the HEI up. So we do think the reason it wasn't running right was the carburetor, not the HEI. All right, guys, last tire going on. We finally got our 4th tire. Yeah. We don't have another dog dish. We got 3 more on the way though, so gonna be fine. Tires look good, Russell. Yep. Trying to get this nice and clean so that when we eventually do have to pull the head, because let's face it, we're gonna have to pull the head, we can not be disgusting doing it.
Look at that damn thing. Yeah.
There it is. All right, there she is in all of her beauty and glory. She looks good. I don't think she's gonna run though, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna plug the battery back up and pray for the best. We haven't really tuned the carb or set the carb up. It's fresh out of the box. We're not sure we got the vacuum lines hooked up correctly. We're trying to eliminate as much as possible. We've eliminated the smog system. Generally, there's still some things we have to cap, but for the carb to run, it really doesn't need much. It just needs the chokes hooked up, electric chokes hooked up, the vacuum advance we think's hooked up. We're not sure. We don't know what we're doing. But the other one was such a piece of junk. I say piece of junk, it was Motorcraft, but it was so old and decrepit that anything's better than that. Guys, I don't know what all this smoke is. It might be an exhaust leak, but it don't sound like it. Or it might be all the cleaner that we put on it burning off. I can't tell if it's getting worse or better or what, but it seems like it's being pushed out, so I'm thinking of some sort of leak. We don't have the thermostat open yet. We're not positive the temp gauge works. All the other gauges work. What's the exhaust smell like?
I think it's just warming up. Can't look the burger and all that.
It also has a little bit of a gas smell to it. Smoke, I do think that's just burning off. It's hard to get the temp right now. The radiator definitely has a leak because the fan is just throwing water at us when we rev it up. The timing we need to adjust on the timing some. Carb probably needs some tuning. You can see it's kind of stumbling a little bit right now. But it runs fine. Not under load, but under throttle. Revs up good. Got a little smoke coming out of the tailpipe. With definitely when you give it gas and get it up, get the RPMs up, water comes out too. So we don't know. At least we found out why it had 17 pounds of stop leak in it, because someone was trying to plug those holes in the radiator. So now we're gonna have to turn it off. We're gonna have to check the spark plugs, especially number 6 had the low compression, to see what it looks like. We need to check the oil, see if there's any water in the oil, see if there's any gas in the oil. The fact that it's just been sitting here purring like a kitten, basically, except for the little stumbles here and there, is really good. That means we have a good engine. We might just need to have some head work done to it. So we're gonna put the hat back, we're gonna turn it off, put the hat back on it. We might be done for today, we're not sure. Guys, I know this content's completely different than our normal content, which is Jeeps and other things. We'll get back to Jeeps here very soon, and maybe the trailer as well. But you know, this is neat. I like working on this old stuff. It's easy to work on. So if you've liked these videos at all, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you later.